Alrighty then, this is a guide to set up the Wii Wallpaper script that makes all of these nice little icons clickable. I'm assuming that you've already downloaded the wallpaper itself. If you haven't, it will be called the custom Wii home menu with clickable channels. There will be two different ones, but I would recommend the primary one from LittleQ because otherwise you don't know what you get. Anyway, make sure to subscribe to it, and while you're in here anyway, make sure that you go into the settings, general, and scroll all the way down to enable verbose logging. This is what is needed for the script itself to pick up any button clicks. Once you've clicked that, click OK, OK again, and make sure you restart your wallpaper engine. Restarting is important, and you can confirm that it works by going into the wallpaper engine file location, which is typically in this path, Steam apps, that's the one, common, and then wallpaper engine. This is the default location, and do remember it because you will need it in a bit. But then you can go into the log file itself, and you will see some logs. The thing you're looking for specifically is this, log app1, etc. If you click on any of these icons and go to here, you should see that the clicks are getting registered. If they don't, try reinstalling either the wallpaper or the wallpaper engine app itself. This is a necessary step to make sure that everything works. Now that that's sorted, we can go into the GitHub page. Here you will have the external Wii Wallpaper zip, which is pretty much everything you need. You simply download and extract all. Once extracted, you need to make sure that the path itself to this script, to this zip file or whatever, that there's no space bars in any of the folder names. For example, if you have it in user/my name with a spacebar in between, like the last name, this will not work. The script will fail, and the easiest way to solve that is to simply move this entire folder into somewhere else, like C/WeScript, one word. But yeah, make sure there's no spacebars in this directory. Anyway, now that we're done with that, the first thing you need to do is open PowerShell, and then type in this command that I will have pasted somewhere, hopefully in the description. Set-ExecutionPolicy Unrestricted. This will allow you to run scripts and such that aren't authenticated. A bit of a risk issue, but if you decide to trust this random script, that's on you. Obviously, you need to not be a dum-dum and actually start PowerShell as a administrator. If you don't do it as an admin, you will get an error message like I just got. So let's try again. Paste the command, and then you will get this. Yes, yes to all, or no. I'm just simply going to press A, which is yes to all. And save. That's done. Now you can close this tab and go to the info tab. This is, you can also open all of this in Notepad. It is equally fine. I just prefer Visual Studio as it is a bit clearer to use. The first line needs to be the path to your log file that we looked at earlier. And now by default, it should be this if you have everything installed as Steam does by default. But if you use like the D directory, or if you have your own custom install location, make sure to replace this. An easy way to find out where it is going back to the log file, right-clicking it, and choose copy as path, and then paste that. When you do it like this, you will get these quotation marks that you need to remove before and after. But same can be used for everything else as well. For example, Steam itself is in Steam, and then look for the there, this exe file. So if I just want to copy that as path and paste it in here, okay, stop a second. remove the quotation marks. Then this app1, which will be this icon, will open Steam once I've done with everything. Now you simply Control S to save it, close it, and then you can run the install bat. This will create an auto start for the program itself, so anytime you restart your computer, this application will start with it, so you don't need to set it up every time you restart your computer. So you simply run that, you'll get a warning, click more info and run anyway. You'll get a pop-up, and it'll tell you that it started the task successfully. So just click enter to exit, and then you run the start app. Same thing here, more info, run anyway. Now you'll get a couple of pop-ups, and there you saw that you got a red error message, which likely means that this will not work. It will not. So this error message that you just got is because it is blocking the actual app itself. So what you want to do is you go to Don't Touch folder, and then you click this little wallpaper, which is the app itself. You need to go through this error screen like usual, and then start it. Now you can try if it actually works, because this is the app itself, as mentioned, by clicking here, and for me it works. So now you can close this and go back. There's also like these scripts in the Don't Touch, but yeah, don't touch those. Go back to the external Wii Wallpaper and do start again. Now I didn't get an error message, and I can just press enter to continue. And now, in the background, without anything visually running, I can hopefully just click here and it works. Let's talk more about some paths. So to adjust paths, add new apps or whatever you want it to be, in order for that to update, you should firstly do the stop command. Same deal here, run anyway, and approve. And it will tell you that it has been terminated. This means that the app is no longer running, this will not work, and you can now safely go into the info file again and add whatever you want. I have some saved examples on the Discord page, Wallpaper Engine channel pins. You'll find this, the Google Doc with a lot of different information. How to find your own apps. You can always do Windows R, type in shell apps folder, and this will take you to this location, which has most applications, even the Microsoft installed ones, Microsoft Store installed ones. But here you can just click any one of these, create a shortcut. It won't work here, but it will place it in your desktop. Now you can just move this wherever you want. Like if I want it in the same location as this, that's fine. I just move it here, right click it, and copy as path. I go back into this edit and paste it. Now, once again, make sure to delete the quotation marks before and after, and save. Now I start the app again. Press enter. And now the second app should be, there we go, remote desktop. Some apps, for some reason, like to start minimized. It is a bit depending on the app itself, how they feel like doing it, but this technically did work. Some shortcuts are better than others. Anyway, we can stop it again and go back to the info tab. Some other ways to use this, if you for example want to start a web page, is instead using these pre-made ones for the new GitHub version. You can ignore all this old Node.js stuff. So for example, if I want to start system settings, I can just copy this cmd c. This causes it to start a cmd command. So then it will start MS setting system. So just copy this, add it in here with no spacebar. Another example is start Steam rungameid. This is to start Steam shortcuts. If you're using playing any game with anti-cheat, it is highly recommended that you use this for Steam games. The way you get the Steam ID is you go into Steam, and for example, Wallpaper Engine, you click Properties on the game itself and Updates. Here you will see this number, 431960. So 431960. I need to double check. Yep. So yeah, replace the last part with the ID, and then once again you can just save that with Control S. You can also do some applications support Start, Opera. Oh, sorry. Yeah, scratch that. Yeah, explorer.exe just starts File Explorer, but an interesting one is also YouTube links, or any links at all, would be similar with cmd c start. So you just paste that in there. So now app 5 should be youtube.com. It'll open in your default browser. Once again, save. You can just close this, and we go back to here and start app. And click enter to close this. Now, if everything works correctly, I should have a bunch of different functionality. Yep, my system settings, Wallpaper Engine, and this one, youtube.com on my default browser. There's also a second screen functionality, but it requires you to download a second version of the wallpaper. So this is the only one that I know is officially supported. It's this called this custom with home screen or home menu with clickable channels on the second screen. The way this works is it has exact same functionality, but in the info.txt you need to put in a bunch of more lines. So if we go back to the info page here, what you would need to do is, since all of these are for the first screen, you need to add app16 equals app17 equals etc etc. So you would add this for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, etc etc, essentially doubling to further the apps. So the first home menu screen will be your primary screen, and then on your second screen you have this one, which will be app 16 to 30. Same functionality otherwise, you don't need to adjust anything else. And then you just save and quit and run the app again. Hopefully I covered more or less everything, and bye bye.